Hello friends, welcome to a new happy learning video. Look at these images. Do you know what we're looking at? Exactly, they are angles. And today we are going to learn many things about them. An angle is a space between two intersecting lines or surfaces that emerge from the same point called vertex. If you look around, we are surrounded by angles, like the ones this clock handles. Or an ice cream cone makes. The unit of measure of the angles is the degree. And the most important angle of all is this one. It's called a right angle and it measures 90 degrees. The tiny zero you can see in the right upper part of the number 90 is a symbol that represents all angles. We say that a right angle is the most important one because it is the one that is used to compare all of the other angles. The angles that are smaller than a right angle are called acute angles, and they measure less than 90 degrees, like all of these. And the angles that are bigger than a right angle are called obtuse angles and measure more than 90 degrees, like all of these. To know the degrees that an angle measures, we need to use this instrument, which is called a protractor. So, we need to place the straight part of the protractor over one of the sides of the angle, making the vertex and the central point of the protractor meet. After this, we need to look at the protractor line on the other side of the angle and look at what number it says. These are the degrees that an angle measures. Easy peasy, huh? Let's practice! We said that a right angle is 90 degrees. Let's see. We'll get the protractor and indeed! A right angle is 90 degrees. We haven't fooled you, huh? Now, let's measure this angle. Let's see how much it measures. 45 degrees! It's an acute angle because it is smaller than a right angle. And now, we're going to check out how much this other angle measures. 120 degrees! Of course! It's an obtuse angle because it measures more than 90 degrees. Imagine that instead of being 120, it measures 180. Do you know what this angle is called? We call it a straight angle. Hey, and what about if it measures 360 degrees? Well, that's a complete or full angle. It's complete as can be. A circumference measures 360 degrees. What a discovery! Measuring angles is easy peasy and fun, don't you think? Adding is joining things and counting them. It's that simple. For example, let's add how many toys we have. 1 plus 1, 2. Plus 1, 3. We have 3 toys. Easy peasy, huh? As you can see, we use this sign when we are adding, and it's called plus. Let's do another example. If a chicken lays 3 eggs, and another chicken lays 5 eggs, how many eggs do we have in total? Let's see, 3 eggs plus 5 eggs is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 eggs. When we're adding, we only write down the number. We don't say what we're talking about, so it's easier to write. If we add 4 blue marbles plus 2 green marbles, we write 4 plus 2. That makes a total of 6. So we know we have 6 marbles. Each one of the quantities that we add are called summads, and a simple addition can have as many summads as we wish. Additions can be written vertically, like this one, or horizontally, like this one. For now, we've seen very simple additions, but it's time to do some that are a little more complicated. To add larger figures, such as 32 plus 56, we place one summad under the other, ones under ones, and tens under tens, like this. Then we add a plus sign. Now we need to add the ones from both summads. 2 plus 6 equals 8. And now let's add the tens. 3 plus 5 equals 8. So the final result is 88. That rhymes with cake. But what happens if the addition has remainders and more than 2 summads? It's easy peasy. Let's add 15 plus 27 plus 4. As we've seen before, we place the summads under each other, ones under ones, and tens after tens. It looks like this. Now we add the ones. 5 plus 7 equals 12, plus 4 equals 16. With the number 16, 6 represents ones and 1 represents tens. Because there are no more units to add, we put number 6 by the result. But number 1 represents tens, so we can't place it yet because we haven't added tens. So we turn it in a new summad and we take it to the tens column. Now we can add up all tens. 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 2 is 4. And we put number 4 in the results, under tens. So the addition's final result is 46. Easy peasy, huh? Now we've learnt to add with remainders. Now you need to practice lots. Subtracting is the opposite of adding. It's taking away a smaller amount from a larger amount. For example, if we have 6 balloons, but 2 of them burst, we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 balloons left. 6 minus 2 equals 4. A subtraction is represented by this sign, which is called minus. And each of the figures that form part of the subtraction are called minuend and subtrahend. The minuend is the number that we're going to subtract, and the subtrahend is the quantity we're going to take away. For example, if a chicken lays 9 eggs, but we use 6 to make an omelette, how many eggs do we have left? How do we do the subtraction? First, we need to place number 9, which is the minuend, the number of eggs that we have at the beginning. Under it, we'll place number 6, which is the subtrahend, the number of eggs that we'll use to make an omelette. After this, we place the minus sign on the left side of the subtrahend and we draw a horizontal line under the subtraction's numbers. Now, we can do the subtraction. If out of 9 eggs, we use 6, we've got 1, 2, and 3 eggs. Now we know how to subtract simple figures, but now we're going to complicate things a little more. To subtract larger figures, for example 56 minus 32, we need to write down the minuend, 56, and under it, the subtrahend, 32. Always placing units under units and tens under tens. After this, we place the minus sign and we're ready to subtract. 56 minus 32 is equal to 6 minus 2 equals 4. And 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. That means that the final result is 24. Easy peasy, huh? Now we're going to complicate things a little more. We're going to subtract with the remainders, but don't worry because it's easy peasy. We're going to subtract 63 minus 45. First, as always, we subtract the units. 3 units minus 5 is, whoops, it's impossible to subtract 3 minus 5. So, what do? Well, it's easy peasy. We transform one of the tens from the minuend into 10 units, and we take them to the units column. Since we had 6 tens and we've transformed one of them into units, we've got 5 tens left. We then add these 10 units to the 3 we had in the minuend, meaning that we've got 13 now. Now we can subtract the units. 13 minus 5 is equal to 8. We have 8 units. Now we need to subtract the 5 tens we had in the minuend and the 4 tens that we had in the subtrahend. 5 minus 4 is equal to 1. Meaning that 63 minus 45 is equal to 18. It's easy peasy, don't you think? Now you have to practice lots. Multiplying is the same as adding various times the same number. And the multiplying sign is this one. Yes, like an X. If we saw this multiplication, 2 times 3, what we need to do is add number 2 3 times, like this. 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. So 2 times 3 is 6. Easy peasy. Knowing how to multiply is very important for life in general. Let's imagine that we want to buy 4 toys and each toy costs 2 coins. How much money do we need to take to the shop to buy all 4 toys? It's easy peasy. We would have to write 2, the number of coins for each toy, times 4, which is the amount of toys we want to buy. This means we need to add 4 times number 2. 2 coins from one toy plus 2 coins from another toy plus 2 from another and 2 from the last. Our answer is 8. We would need 8 coins to buy the 4 toys. The numbers that appear in the multiplication are called factors. Number 2 and 4 are the factors. And the answer of the operation is called the product. So number 8 is the product. Easy peasy, huh? A very important trick that you need to know is that it doesn't matter if you multiply 2 times 4 or 4 times 2. The answer will always be the same. Let's check it. We already know that 2 times 4 is adding 4 times number 2, and the answer is 8. Now let's see 4 times 2. We need to add number 4 twice. 4 plus 4 is 8. Same as when we multiplied 2 times 4. This is the commutative property. It says the order of the factors won't alter the product. 5 times 3 is 15, same as 3 times 5, which is also 15. Easy peasy. Well, now you know the most important things about multiplying. Now, you need to learn your times tables so you don't have to add so much and it's even easier for you.
Dividing is the most generous mathematical operation because it means sharing. Dividing is taking a quantity of something and sharing it in equal parts. For example, if we have 6 bananas and we divide them between 3 monkeys, each monkey gets 1 and 2 bananas. We already know that dividing is distributing, but how do you do the mathematical operation? Well, it's very easy using this sign, which is like an angle. There are other signs that also mean dividing, like these, but we're going to use the angle. If we have 4 buckets full of water, and we have to divide them between 2 thirsty camels in the middle of the desert, how would we do it? Well, it's very easy. We place the 4 which represent the buckets that we have to divide here, and the 2 which represents the camels that are going to receive them here. And very easily we divide the buckets. And each camel gets 2 buckets. So 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. How cool! Apart from dividing, we have also given the poor camels a drink. Knowing how to divide is really important for day-to-day life. We do it all the time. But what happens when we have a very large amount? Let's imagine that we have 16 carrots. And we have to divide them amongst 4 rabbits. How many carrots do they each get? Let's calculate it by performing the mathematical process step by step. It would be to write 16, which are the carrots we have to distribute, among 4, which are the rabbits we have to distribute the carrots to. We have to know that dividing is the opposite of multiplying. So to know how much 16 divided by 4 is, we have to know what number multiplied by 4 gives us a total of 16. That's why it's very important to know the times tables. Let's try. 4 times 1, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 3, 12. 4 times 4, 16. Ah, here we have the number we were looking for. And we put it here. Now we subtract 16 from 16. And as we don't have anything left, under the 16, we put a 0. So, 16 divided by 4 equals 4. And we don't have any carrots left over. The division is exact. Look how happy the rabbits are. But what would happen if instead of 16 carrots, we had 17? Let's see. What number multiplied by 4 gives me 17? Well, let's multiply. 4 times 1, 4. 4 times 2, 8. 4 times 3, 12. 4 times 4, 16. 4 times 5, 20. Oh no, that's too much. So we'll have to go back to the previous one, the 4. So, we put the 4 here and the 16 here. Now we subtract the 17 and the 16. 17 minus 16 equals 1, which we place here. So, 17 divided by 4 is still 4, but we have 1 left. We have 1 carrot left. And since there is 1 remaining, this is an integer division and not an exact division like the other one. Dividing is still really fun and easy, right? We already know what it means to divide, and we also know how to do the mathematical equation. Now, we are going to know the parts of the division that are the dividend, the divisor, the quotient, and the rest. The dividend is the amount that we are going to distribute. In this case, it is the number 17 because there are 17 carrots that we are going to distribute. The divider is the part between which the dividend will be distributed. Since there are 4 rabbits, the number 4 is the dividend. The quotient is the amount each part gets. If each rabbit gets 4 carrots, the quotient is number 4. And the rest refers to the amount that is left over. In this case, we have 1 carrot left over, which, to the displeasure of the rabbits, is what we will keep for the next day. We already know how to divide, but there is something we have to remember, and that is that 0 divided by any number always equals 0. Because if there is nothing to divide, nobody will get anything. That's pretty clear, right? Well, now that you know how to divide, you'll have to go over the times tables. The times tables are essential for dividing because if you know that 3 times 2 equals 6, you will remember that 6 divided by 3 is 2 and that 6 divided by 2 is 3. Goodbye friends, dividers or distributors. See you in the next video.
Search us and subscribe to Happy Learning's YouTube channel.